How many remember Akoo Clothing? During the height of the Southern rap boom, one of the biggest rappers from Atlanta decided to toss his hat into the clothing line business. At one point, Akoo Clothing was everywhere, in music videos, on red carpets, and in hip-hop magazines on shelves across America. Wanting to set himself apart from the slew of other rap fashion, the brand promised to be more than just merch. It was supposed to be a legit fashion line, based off of more than just t-shirts and hoodies. During their golden era, T.I. was the self-proclaimed king of the South and putting out work that backed up the claim. His exposure was global, so releasing a clothing line at that time seemed like a no-brainer, right? Akoo was a step above most of the run-of-the-mill rap brands, admittedly. They honestly tried harder. But at the end of the day, they not only are no longer around as much anymore, but they really never caught on at all. Ever wonder why? Why is it that a clothing brand promoted by one of the most popular rappers of his time could never really catch fire? Let's find out. I'm Nate the Great from TakeFlight214.com, and this is the rise and fall of Akoo Clothing, the fashion brand that fame couldn't save. But before we get started, please take a second, as always, to smash that like button. Liking, sharing, and commenting on these videos is the only way to get the YouTube algorithms to notice us and to help us continue to grow. As of making this, we are actually less than 200 subscribers away from 30,000. And this is where we really need you guys to pitch in, because we can't do it without your guys' help. Another way to help the channel is to stop by the website and buy something. We offer hundreds of art pieces and apparel that any fan of the channel is sure to love. But with all that being said, let's dive in. The late 2000s saw the introduction of the South into not only just rap, but culture as a whole. Prior to that, guys on the East and the West Coast always thought that we in the South were behind and slow to catch on to trends, which, I can't lie, to a degree wasn't totally untrue. All the new and freshest innovations normally launched in either New York or Cali, but we took what was looked at as a lemon and made lemonade, adding our own style and flair to the culture. By the late 2000s, the internet was in its infancy and we were all caught up. And nothing showed this more than the South's invasion of the rap industry. Louisiana had made their mark, my home state of Texas was doing our thing, but without a doubt, Atlanta was the Mecca. And one of the best out of that city was none other than T.I. The trend of rappers endorsing their own clothing had long been a thing. It traced all the way back to the early 90s. But in the days just before the official launch of streetwear, the door was still open, and T.I. jammed his foot in it before it slammed shut. The story all starts in 2008. At the height of his music career, Clifford T.I. Harris launched Akoo Clothing, short for A King of Oneself, along with his business partner Jason Jeter. It wasn't just a vanity project though. It was an attempt to merge music, fashion, and motivation into one brand. Akoo was positioned as more upscale than your average rap brand, targeting stylish men who wanted something more refined than just baggy jeans or oversized t-shirts. It blended early streetwear with luxury aesthetics, things like premium denim, fitted polos, tailored jackets. In many ways, it was ahead of its time. With T.I.'s growing influence and the help of RP55 Group, a fashion house behind brands like Parrish and Billionaire Boys Club, Akoo entered the market with serious muscle. At the time of launch, T.I. was a household name, so he had no problem linking with some of the best people in the industry. From the jump, Akoo was heavily promoted through T.I.'s music, his celebrity friends, and fashion influences. He got consistent exposure on BET and in XXL magazine and countless rap videos. But while other artists were pushing huge pants and tall tees, T.I. had a different idea. He wanted something grown up, Sophisticated, street, but smooth. It was about evolution. Fashion for guys who had outgrown the tall T days but still wanted to represent the culture. In many ways, Akoo was on the same wave that other brands in the golden era of streetwear would later ride in on. Akoo positioned itself differently from most other rapper-funded brands. It wasn't flashy like Truck Fit or rugged like Woo Wear. Akoo leaned into upscale streetwear, mixing urban roots with tailored cuts. T.I. said that his goal was to give men, quote, something they could wear on the block and then go out to dinner with later on. During the early 2010s, Akoo was gaining steam. It got retail shelf space in Macy's and Dillard's, as well as smaller, more niche boutique shops. The marketing was smart. Not just street, but aspirational. And for a while, it actually worked. Akoo was one of the few artist-driven brands that felt like it had real design credibility, not just rappers slapping a name on t-shirts. The brand did collaborations, sponsored tours, and hosted events to connect with the culture. By the late 2010s, Akoo was in over 100 stores across the US. The brand combined hip-hop bravado with polished menswear cuts. Think street Ralph Lauren vibes, but made for the ATL hustler or rap royalty. By the mid-2010s, the streetwear scene was evolving though. While Akoo kept pushing button-ups and premium denim, younger consumers were shifting towards minimalist, skate-inspired brands like Supreme, Palace, and Stussy. T.I. was still dropping music, don't get me wrong, but his influence in the fashion game had cooled off. Another huge problem was Akoo never fully embraced e-commerce or digital marketing during the social media boom. While newer brands were blowing up on Instagram and YouTube, Akoo still relied on brick and mortar sales and celebrity placement. As rap fashion moved into street luxury hybrid and fast drops, Akoo struggled to keep up with the new pace of hype culture. Not to mention, around this time, T.I. was embroidered in a slew of legal issues, sapping off his attention and momentum. All of this caused the brand to also stall. While T.I. remained vocal about the brand in interviews, Akoo faded from the spotlight. Even Akoo's online presence slowed. New drops became infrequent, and what little social media engagement they did have began to dip significantly. By 2018, many fans were asking the same question. Is Akoo still around? Technically speaking, Akoo does still exist. You can still find their pieces on their official website and in a few streetwear outlets. But it's a far cry from their heyday. With no major collabs, zero visibility, and almost no hype around drops, Akoo has become more of a legacy brand than a cultural force. Still, it deserves credit. Akoo walked so that today's artist-owned fashion labels could run. It proved that a rapper could make a legitimate transition into modern streetwear, even if that momentum didn't last forever. In an era where streetwear is driven by hype, scarcity, and virality, Akoo feels like a relic of the past. Clean, respectable, but ultimately forgotten. On the other hand though, let's be honest, Akoo wasn't really a failure. Not in the way that many of the brands from the failed rapper brand video that we did were. It ran for over a decade. It proved the rapper could make more than just merch. They could build a real functioning fashion brand. It might not be dominating hype feeds in 2025, but in its time, Akoo helped shift the image of Southern style from street to sophisticated. And it showed that being a king of oneself wasn't just about fashion. It was about evolution, maturity, and self-definition. Akoo may not be trending today, but it definitely left its mark. And for that reason alone, I think it deserves its flowers. But what do you think? Were you a fan of Akoo back in the day? Would you wear their new stuff now? Hit us in the comments and let us know. And if you made it all the way to the end of the video and you enjoyed what you saw, we hope you already hit that like button. If not, then what you waiting for? Liking, sharing, and commenting on these videos is the best way to get smaller channels like ours to continue to grow so that we can be on the level with the big boys. And if you want to be updated whenever we drop a new video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and then the notification bell. That way you can be reminded when each new video drops. We do one once a week. With all that being said, I'm Nate the Great from TakeFlight214.com signing out. Until next time, peace.